Hello, my name is John and today on Mono Story we're going to be talking about my first thoughts on the Mage next door. So let's get into it and find out what it's all about. This video will only be talking about the first 8 chapters of The Mage Next Door and using that as a basis for this video. The story is about a mage by the name of Osoegawa, and he is sent from the magic world to the earth world to bring back all of these bad mages who are doing bad things in the earth world back to the magic world. And through this, he goes on various adventures and escapades in order to bring these people back to the magic world to serve their time. Now, there are a lot of positives to this story, and as I was reading it, I was being more and more driven to continue on reading this story. So the first thing we need to talk about is the art, and the art is very simple and easy to understand, but can be quite complex in times, and it is very beautiful to look at because of this. Not only that, but the pacing is also very well done. Every chapter from 1 to 8 so far has been very interesting and improving upon the story, whether it be Osoegawa-san or it be somebody else within the story, whether it be Yobuko or it be Sujimura, just to name a few of the characters. And because of this pacing, we're able to learn about who these characters are. But not only that, but it builds the world very slowly as we learn about things such as the magic and the places that these people are going to in order to catch these criminals. Adding upon that, the world itself is also very beautiful to look at. When we are first dropped into the earth world, Osoegawa is put in a place where there is nothing there, and he finds himself being met by another individual riding a bike, and through this we are sent to our first location. And as we continue on learning about new locations and new characters with their abilities, the world slowly but surely seems to be opening up, and there are more things that are happening within the earth world in relation to these magic users. Not to mention that the magic world also has a lot of intrigue as we slowly learn about that world. Now, when we talk about the characters, some of the most beautifully written characters in 8 chapters I have seen in a very long time. Let's first talk about Osoegawa. Himself is a very interesting character. He is very skilled in a lot of different magic, and we learn about his backstory, even if it's only a little bit, and it creates a lot of intrigue to our story. Another beautiful character in the story is Yobuko, who is first introduced in chapter 3, and she is this character who we find out cannot use magic very well. She uses a form of summoning magic, and we find out by the end of the chapter that she's able to summon her first real big, what seems to be an animal. So it was very interesting to see that sort of development from this character, as well as her past, as we witness her inability to do such magic in the past. There is also 2 other characters who seem to have shown up at least twice throughout the story so far, so I'm assuming they'll be coming again at some different points, who have the same goal as Osoegawa, in which they are trying to get these magic users back to the magic world. However, they work for a different division in the magic department of the police division. And these 2 people are known as Sujimura and Urasa. And the thing I love about these 2 characters, specifically it's going to be Sujimura, is because Sujimura has a past with magic users. He actually doesn't like them. And so these 2 characters use swords rather than magic, and the reason why Sujimura doesn't like magic characters is because it is hinted in chapter 6 that his family was assaulted by magic users, and so his history with magic users is not very good, which is why Osoegawa and Sujimura are constantly fighting with each other whenever they meet with each other. And it's a very interesting character interaction because it gives us sort of a rivalry, but also they are working together as well. And the last real big thing as a positive for this story is that its magic abilities are very unique, and it's what makes this story so interesting. So we have the simple magic elements such as ice. There's also, again, summoning magic, but there's very unique magic like aroma magic, where you produce an aroma or a smell. A magic where you can tie a person's shoes together. And there is other things like Osoegawa uses a water gun that produces a large amount of water as an attack. So there's different ways of using magic. It's not as simple as just fire, ice, lightning, etc., where the basic fundamentals of magic come from the world or what's around us. It is more complex than that, and it's very specific, which makes for more gags as well as more serious fights, depending on what the story demands. Now, just like with any story, there are some negatives to this story. Though they are small, they are very important to understand. So the first one for me right now is that the villains are somewhat shallow. They are very one chapter based villains. So a villain will come into the story that's done something bad to, let's say, the humans in this world, and they are then defeated by Osoegawa by the end of the chapter. So we don't get a lot of understanding of who these characters are and why they are doing what they are doing in that specific scene, other than completing something that is a negative to the humans of the world. And so these villains, again, aren't very interesting. Though some of them do speak uniquely and nuanced and show a very unique power, there isn't really much to them. And that leads us to our bigger problem in the story, which is, why are people from the magic world going to the earth world? What is the benefit to them? Do they have value in the things that they potentially steal or control, or do they have value in money? And so it isn't really explained to us why these people from the magic world, other than they are doing bad things for the sake of doing bad things, why they would want to leave the magic world and head to the human world. They are just doing things that are criminal activities in the human world, because obviously as magic users you have a stronger ability against humans who have no magic ability. And so that is sort of the problem going on in the story as a really, really big negative.
Swish and flick! Wingardium Leviosa! Cool.
And that is my thoughts on The Mage Next Door. And look, I think this story has a lot of promise. The Mage Next Door is a very interesting looking manga, and I'm looking forward to learning about Osoegawa-san, Yobuko, as well as Tsujimura, and all of the other new characters that we learn about throughout the story. I'm also looking forward to their interactions and where the story is going, and hopefully we get an explanation as to why magic users are leaving the magic world and heading to the earth world, other than to do bad things for the sake of doing bad things. As it stands now in chapter 8, we have just had Osoegawa fighting another villain who has lasted for more than one chapter. So it seems like this is going to be a longer set of chapters for the story, talking about one section or one villain, which is very interesting because it's going to create a lot more character development for not only Osoegawa, but also the villain and other characters involved, including the three brothers. So it looks like it's going to be a very interesting next couple of chapters coming up for The Mage Next Door. But I want to hear what you think about The Mage Next Door, so please write down in the comment section below whether it is a good series or not a good series and why. My name is John from Mono Story. If you haven't already liked, subscribed and pressed the bell button, please do so. And until next time, if you want to keep on watching, please do so. If not, I will see you on another Mono Story.